dad's phone today, and I was like, Dad, you have TikTok? And like that one night, he's like, yeah, I downloaded it, but I never signed up because I figured I didn't want to like let the Chinese have my info.
They're
downloaded
downloaded.
You downloaded it.
Yeah, it's over now.
He didn't sign up though, like didn't put his sensitive info in, so at least I feel like he's a little better off, hopefully.
See, and the moment I did sign up, I was like, all right, I'm about to do this TikTok thing. And it was like, no, hey man, you probably shouldn't. It's a lot going on over there. I'm like, all right, well, delete. They got what they got.
Mm-hmm.
But also in those cases, I've had I just moved, right? I just moved, and I was like, oh, I would love a desk that like raised up. You've seen the ones that just like has the little top hand that just comes up to your face.
Uses a low desk or the standing
exactly.
one. Yeah.
And Amazon has non-stop been giving me ads on Instagram. I'm like, oh no, y'all were listening to me. And you're giving me good ads. So can I be mad because these are things I want to buy? But they're always listening. So it's like, hey, do you want to go to the flip phone, or do you want to be like, I'm not doing anything bad. Like, fuck it. And if I am, I know not to have the phone in the fucking room. Or leave the phone at home.
Dude, people be doing the craziest stuff and they have their phones on them, like tracking them the whole time. It's like, well, your cell phone's in this area.
But that's for the people that are on Snapchat and they have themselves on the mat.
Oh.
That's the craziest one I've seen.
That
was nuts. When I first seen that, I was like, I'm going ghost mode immediately.
Ghost mode immediately, but then it's so horrifying, the people that just leave it on. I'm like, so you don't care about no type of stalker.
Everyone knows where your house is.
Everybody knows where you, because it shows where you're sleeping. So it's like, this is where you're sleeping at tonight.
And you're sleeping.
And you're
sleeping. Like, I'll put up the Z's and everything.
And that map is really good. It showed, the radar on it was actually crazy. It showed the exact house. It wasn't just like...
What was the purpose? Like, I don't understand the purpose. And they still have it.
So it was for hooking up, dude. I'm telling you. Snapchat
is definitely for hooking up.
Snapchat is known for it, dude.
Snapchat is for hooking up.
That's what we got in high school.
Yeah, this is all... Remember that? That was the only reason he made a Snapchat. Was for that girl. Look. He was trying to get his friends to do it? No, that's the only reason he did it.
Snapchat
piece of shit.
has all... I love to say Snapchat was the reason why news were still available after iPhone screenshots.
Yeah.
Because before that, the new receiving dropped. They were not trusting anybody with their news anymore. And Snapchat brought the culture back. I'll say that. Snapchat brought the culture back because girls are like, I can trust you because it's going away in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But and Snapchat's not what it is today. Like when it first came out,
you didn't have video on Snapchat.
Yeah, you could only send pictures.
It was just pictures.
And you could put text on that.
It was no messenger. It was no messenger. It was just send the pictures, keep sending.
And they showed your top 3, your top.
Your most.
I remember that.
That was funny.
I remember when they first updated. I was like, I fucking hate this. This is so ugly. Why would they?
Everyone could see who you were talking to.
Yeah, that was terrible.
You see a girl had three guys in her top, and she's dating the one. You know, like it was always like funny shit like that. Like, damn, what's going on?
That was getting a lot of people in trouble. I'm glad I was single at that point. I was single for a good chunk of that point.
Yeah.
But if like a girl was like, well, so who's in your top people? And I had to keep snapping my boys. Like, hey, we gotta keep. We're gonna keep this saturated. We're gonna keep this going. So you can get the top.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's just tight.
That's toxic. That's toxic as hell.
No, that's funny.
I remember saying, like, hey, bro, I'm just sending this to you so you're at my top friend.
Yeah.
He was like, bet, I'm about to send you back.
I had a dude, literally send me, be like, hey, man, I'm about to bomb you with some shit. So, like, I was like, bet. Because I gotta get this girl out of my time.
That's funny. That's so funny. But shout out to all the Snapchat girls that were just on there getting it popping. Literally. That's a good time. Those are good times right there. It's not like that. You can't trust anybody on the internet anymore.
No. Definitely not.
Yeah, if you don't know them especially, there's no way.
You still be talking to people on like Reddit and stuff, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, there's always interesting threads on there.
I love good Reddit.
I love Reddit.
Yeah.
Reddit, especially in the past year, has been like a top 3 for me now. Yeah.
There's some crazy.
You can literally see anything. You can see anything, and there's such like a niche audience. Like I love Big Brother. I mean, it's
the show.
Yeah, the show. Big Brother, where it's like the real world, but with challenges and shit.
Yeah.
And it's a good Reddit page. I enjoy it. They give backstory that I didn't even think about. I needed and shit like that.
Yeah, when you're investing in something, like I always look up like Sopranos, like bad, you know, like stuff like that. Like you'll find something out, like just like when you're bored or something. But yeah, they got some crazy articles on there, some rabbit holes. Sometimes like late at night, I'll go down to deep one of them. Like man, what did I just?
I saw you because it's more like formal. People on there seem to be like more intelligent. Rather, if you just go on Twitter or somewhere else, it just like, especially because if I want to see something very specific, I'm going to that board and I'm just reading as much as I can.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
A lot of the Ohio like community is on Reddit right now, and there is a Ohio marijuana page, and all they do is post weed, and they get so in depth about like genetics and shit.
Really,
it's crazy, and I look at it and I'm like, damn, like are these people like super stoners, or are they just in their office building right now, like with a suit and tie on? Like,
studying.
Fuckers keep saying this. GMO does not stand for garlic mushroom. I mean, it stands for something else. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, my bad, bro. My bad.
But do they have love for it, or is it just strictly financial for them?
It's one of those things where it's like, I'm passionate about this, but am I that passionate about something? Where I'm putting a page and a half of very angry toning stuff, and then posting it and then watching the replies.
Yeah,
that's what the thing about Reddit is. Like, you can watch the downvotes start to come, and the person get on there like, y'all can downvote it all you want, but it's still like, oh, bro, you're mad. You're mad now. Don't be mad at the downvotes. They just don't like your thought.
Didn't YouTube have like a dislike button and they removed that?
Yep.
Oh, did they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because YB in the Mirror had a song
that
called,
one song, yeah.
What was it, like?
I do remember that.
Like Space Palace or some shit, something dumb like that, and they downvoted it so much that they had to take it with a downvote.
Really?
Yeah, it was like the most hated song in YouTube history, and they took it away after that.
I don't really hear much about him anymore.
Nah, he went very hood when he moved to LA, and then they're like, bro, you don't make good music.
He streams now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he always kind of did.
People make great money streaming.
Yeah.
Like, all that rap shit is cool, but T Grizzly is a streamer.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of interviews, so he just does the GTA server. People like buy in to get in, and
the most entertaining.
It's a genius. It's a very smart.
It's
like,
so entertaining.
Yeah.
It's so entertaining. It's so entertaining. So you basically start your server. You have a monthly fee, and then the people that get into it, you make content inside of the world. So you're the only ones in there, so people will want to see what's going on. Yeah. Create your storyline, create your plot, get it going.
I always like watching like the police versus like people chasing. I love that shit.
I spent probably a good chunk of like last summer watching him just tell his story of like his hood versus this hood. And it's so good because they got like gang war like apps on their phone and shit. They calling each other. They have their own Twitter inside the game. It's their own songs.
That shit's cool.
Yeah, and you build your own world. I'm like, man, but like, how do you make your money? And then I look. He said it hit his his right hand character homie. He quit his job and just does the GTA Online. He just does the clips. Wow. He just clips everything up. Yeah. And his YouTube page just pays for everything. Wow. That's genius.
So that's where the world's going.
Oh, it's there. It's there.
Already there?
It's there. You look at you gotta look at like shows like Tosh.0 and like
I love Tosh.
America's Funniest Home Videos. Like that style of clipping is just Vine. It's like it's been there.
Rob Dyrdek's
like Rob Dyrdek. It's probably airing right now on 3 different channels.
Yeah,
and it's a marathon of it because you can watch clips nonstop.
What does he have on them? Like, did he see them like kill a bunch of children or something at a party? Like, what did he do?
I think
he owns them.
No, but he's been one of the smartest businessmen.
Yeah.
Period. Like his deal with GC was like one of the craziest deals.
Fantasy Factory
stuff.
He's had a crazy like career.
He's from Ohio too, isn't he?
And he's from Ohio. And he's from Ohio.
A lot of famous people, a lot of like powerful people are from Ohio.
Oh yeah, Ohio does numbers out here.
Yeah. He needs a doc actually. Rob, because he has Street League too.
Yeah,
like right. he got to be.
Yeah, that cartoon, right?
Cartoon, yeah, the cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon. It was a skate show. I forget what it was called.
He got to be close to like. He got to be at least 200 million.
Oh yeah, I think
easy.
His net worth's a couple $100 million. I remember looking it up. It was like wow.
Easy.
Yeah, MTV, the deal he has with all them,
I think I remember seeing like a doc from him or like an interview where he said he just bought like a whole bunch of the space on MTV, so like his stuff will run constantly.
And it's genius. That's genius. That's absolutely genius. Because he has that type of show.
Yeah.
And he made good, like Robin Big was good. The Fantasy Factory was good. Like,
I remember.
It was always good content.
Yeah,
he never put out bad content.
Everything was popping. Everything. Even Street League, when I was like, all right, the X Games is kind of going downhill. It was like, oh, well, here we go with Street League, and they were giving out the biggest money.
Do they not have X Games anymore?
They do. It's not
just like weak. Like it used to be sweet.
It's not like how it was. It's
fell off a little bit.
Dude, that was one of my favorite things to watch like every year.
Was the X Games?
Yes.
Because they took away the sponsorship. So like the sponsors weren't the sponsors, and then the circuit around the X Games. So they built up to the X Games a lot, and then those competitions started to fall off because they didn't have the sponsorship, and it ended quote unquote when Travis Pastrana did the double backflip, and then he tried to come back and do the front flip, and he didn't make it, and then that was probably like the height of it, and then it was over with for him.
I always remember Shaun White.
The flying.
Who's the one that fell like 60, 70 feet?
Oh yeah,
Is
that Bob?
Danny Myers, Danny Way. Is it Danny Way?
It was Danny Way.
It was Danny Way.
That was like a skateboarding, right? And he fell from like
it was one of the craziest falls I've ever seen.
The shoes popped off.
Yes.
The shoes popped off.
Yeah, it was that one.
Oh, that was horrible. I just had a little rumble in my tongue because I remember watching that live.
Yeah. That was a big
person.
That was big air.
That shit. Yeah, it was big because they had bought the big air ramp, and I was like, these guys are crazy, and they kept doing it. I'm like, okay, so they just practicing very well with this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
They made it look effortless. Yeah. But that fall, because it wasn't off the jump, it was the come down, and he didn't get the coping right, so he just fucking
it was like 100 feet in the air.
Oh my goodness!
And I remember the shoes flew off. Everything.
That was one of the craziest falls I think they'll ever televise. Like they would have cut that.
They would have cut that so fast. And I think that's why they kind of stopped showing because people were getting hurt. People were getting hurt, and there was kids, and you got people like what's his name, Najee Houston, who was supposed to take over, but he kind of like just
fell off.
No, he's good, but he started getting money. He started getting money and bitches. He was like, I'm just gonna skate and chill out.
I don't need all this shit.
Yeah, I don't need to be the face of anything.
Right. I just seen something about like Terry Kennedy, I guess, is doing really bad. Like
Terry Kennedy's
like addicted to drugs or something like that. Bam Margera is not doing.
I did see something.
I fucking love Bam, man.
Dude, Viva La Bam was a great show.
Oh yeah.
I love that show.
Bam went on Steve-O's show, and he's doing better than he was 6 months ago.
Really? Oh, he just recently went on?
Yeah, he went on there probably like...
Steve-O said something to him the other day.
Yeah.
He said, like, you gotta get sober, man. Like,
I remember watching, I think it was some sort of doc or, like, video interview where it's, like, they were showing Steve-O in that, like, that room, he was doing, like, whippets and shit.
Yeah, and he had all the bottles everywhere.
Yeah.
That's a horrifying sight to see like that. And
I couldn't even imagine pulling up on my friend and seeing all
that.
that. Yeah,
that was. I remember that. That was.
He put a skate ramp through the whole crib.
Yeah.
And had whippets everywhere. And
total party house.
But I couldn't even why film it?
Like, that's what I'm saying.
Why is that in my psyche? I should have never seen that.
Remember, like Method Man's or Red Man's?
He had the screen.
Remember his normal ass house? He's like, like this. His homie was like, your cousin was like sleeping on the couch. Yeah, I remember that one.
He came out and said that was not his house.
Really?
That was not his house. It was a homie's house, and he was just over. He was like, I'm not about to show y'all my real house. I'm not stupid. And he was like, this would be funny. A lot of those MTV shows,
I heard those were fake, right?
Yeah.
Those weren't their houses?
A lot of those MTV shows were not their houses.
That's so weird.
Pimp My Ride were not their cars, or the cars all broke down. They rebuilt the dude's car that looked similar, said it was his, and then gave him back his old car again. Yeah. A lot of that stuff was just... what was the show?
Remember that show Next? The Bus.
That was good. That was a good show.
The Bus. Okay, so you'd basically go on a blind date. You'd hop out a bus. A girl or guy would be, waiting outside the bus. And if she instantly just seen you and said nope, she'd be like, nope.
Next.
Next, right. And, sorry.
You gotta get right back on the bus and then stay on the bus and watch everybody else go.
And then they go on dates and shit. So it would go either far or short or this or that, and then it was hilarious.
Wow. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Like, those type of shows used to
sick.
be
Yeah,
the
that's
shit.
fucking
Jersey
sick.
Shore,
the Jersey Shore went crazy. That was pandemonium for a while.
You gotta watch the chaos. Like it's
I watched
beautiful.
it. I loved it.
It's beautiful watching chaos unfold.
When Jersey Shore, I think season 2 came out or 3, maybe somewhere around there. I was in college. We sat in the lounge and watched it as a family. We was in there like, oh no, they're fighting. Like that was one of those times where you still watch TV. You still watch
it was cable.
TV. Yeah, it was cable.
Yeah, it wasn't like everyone had Netflix, HBO Max.
Man, it's crazy. Right. We sat there together, ate popcorn.
Wow.
And made it a thing and enjoyed ourselves.
You're right. That's one of the last shows that was probably like that.
Like sit down and watch TV. Yeah.
Walking Dead did it.
Yeah.
Walking Dead
was doing it.
They fell off though.
Towards season, they probably had a good 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And then I remember again, I was in college and it was on Netflix, and my roommate, he would just have it on in the background. I'm like, bro, what are you watching? This shit is crazy. Why are you just having this on? It's soothing music. No, it's a great show, bro. Yeah. And I sat there for a minute and I was like, oh, this shit is good. This is pretty good. But I remember that being an early Netflix show though.
Yeah.
Very early Netflix because he had an Xbox 360 or something like that. He was like, all right, let's put this shit on.
Yeah, Walking Dead. I think it's gotta be top 10 for me.
It's just I just closed out. They're about to do other spin-off shows.
Yeah,
and whatnot.
Yeah, they had the Fear of the Walking Dead or something like that. I didn't really get into that.
But now there's gonna be.
But I didn't start watching it until they were 3 seasons in already. Wow. That way I just binged the whole thing. I remember I had an old HP laptop. I had Netflix for the first time. Got on there and I was like, I'm gonna bust all this out right now. Watched 3 seasons in 3 days.
That shit was on 13 years or 14 years.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Something like that's crazy, over a decade.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's one of the greatest of all time, I think.
Sopranos, those, yeah.
I never watched Sopranos.
I watched
know that's gonna hurt you.
It's good. It's really good.
Yeah. I know it hits different when you're Italian. I know it does.
And it's one of them
it's funny.
You can relate to it as this is a family man just trying to make it. He's just trying to make the best way he know how to make it.
And his anxiety.
Yeah,
that's one thing that he goes through.
It showed a different part of it. It showed I have to deal with maintaining a marriage and being a crime syndicate boss.
Yeah. My family, my private life.
My daughter hates me. My son hates me.
Yeah, you got side women. You got.
I've always seen Clint's, but I just never. How many seasons is it?
9, 8.
I think 6 or 7. Yeah.
7.
How many episodes in a season?
12 to 15 usually.
Not bad.
I'd say I'm sorry, 8 to 12. Maybe.
Doable.
Top 5 for me, Weeds.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Weeds is one of those things where I watched it and I was like, okay, I hope this happens in the future, and it's happening. And I was like, damn, I gotta watch this shit again. And every time I watched it, I was like, they predicted a lot. They saw how it would be, and the tail end. I'm not gonna tell you the tail end, but the tail end of the son grabs a pack of their brand weed cigarettes. He looks at it and goes, I can't believe we made it. I'm like, well, shit, they got weed cigarettes fucking everywhere now. This is here's our future look. I was walking through Bed Bath and Beyond today with my girl. And I'm like, oh, we got hardwood floors. You think we should get a robot? And she knew exactly what I meant. She meant the little robot joint. But in the thinking, we're literally buying a robot to clean our house right now. That's the thought process behind it.
The craziest ones are the ones that mow your lawn. You ever seen those?
I've seen those a couple times.
They mow your lawn.
There's always been pool ones.
I need that.
Yeah.
I do not.
It has a camera on it, whatnot.
Why get a lawnmower?
Yeah.
I get a robot. I don't need to.
You can sit in your house and control it. I heard too. I think there's one like that.
Yeah. Why need? Why? Yeah. Fuck that. Why would I get a lawnmower?
Yeah.
They really didn't get rid of gas power. Yeah. That's how they'll do it.
Yeah. Why would it? Yeah. No, there's. I have a drone lawnmower out there. Yes, I'm about to look that up tonight.
Yeah, that's right. I forget what it's called, but I know they have one.
I'm looking that up tonight, and I'm putting it on my Christmas list because that's what I want.
So what do you think? When do you think they're going to legalize weed, federally?
Federally or here?
Well, both.
Federally, I don't think it'll be under this administration. I don't think he doesn't want to be the weed president. If it would have been legalized, it would have been under Obama if he wanted to be the weed president, but he decides to be the healthcare president.
Yeah.
And you saw how that goes. But I think the next person that gets in, because I don't know who it could be, will be like, all right, it'll be a sweeping, like, here's some police reform stuff, but here's the bright and shiny of we're letting weed folks out of jail that are not violent, because that's what Biden tried to do, but there's nobody that is in federal jail.
It's only 10% of prisoners.
That doesn't have a gun on them selling that much weed. Like, you gotta have millions of dollars worth of weed and never have a gun around you. It's basically what they said. But that's him tipping his foot in there. Like, it's like, oh, yeah. How did y'all like that?
I did a little bit.
Okay, cool. Okay, so we can see it, but his I don't think they're gonna allow him to run again. So I think they're gonna put whoever they want in office, and they're gonna put that on his ringing, or they're ringing up the bells, like, we're gonna let people out of jail. Here's legal weed, and they're gonna tax the hell out of it. Like think about Walmart's weed. Like, just think about what it's gonna look like. Yeah, Circle K. But like Budweiser already has their like hand in like hemp stuff, and we're waiting for the button to be pushed. Like, all the tobacco companies are waiting for the button to be pushed because they can either cash out on like blunt wraps or cash out on just switching their whole farm over to the weed infused splits, because overseas it's all splits. Yeah. So they'll just make all the split shit, and like dust gonna get shipped over. Right. It's like, this is the type of weed, whatever. Kind of weed. So in general, I say 2030 it should be legal. Like something like where the next campaign they're gonna try to run on that.
If it's federally legal though, individual states can still not want to have it.
That's where they'll.
That's where it's hard now, because a lot of states have it legal, but the feds are still illegal.
And they don't want to let those people out of jail because they're getting money for those people. They don't want to.
That whole thing is a business, just like military, industrial.
The private prison shouldn't even exist. That's so fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. They're making that deal like, hey, if we let these people out, you're gonna get X amount of tax money breaks or X amount of tax money back, and we're gonna subsidize it. But this is something that has to happen at this point. So they're making their money now.
Well, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Now in Ohio, I say like 18 months.
Really? Yeah. That's soon.
Yeah. We'll vote on it this year. They're building the structure for it now. So they added like 75 new dispensaries to open. So the problem is, when it goes rec, there's not enough infrastructure already. Yeah. So it's already lines at the dispensaries now, and it's just like 200,000 people. Wow. So think about when it goes legal. Everybody that wants to just buy a joint one day goes in, and it's a line around the block everywhere. So they got to build 75 new dispensaries.
You think it's going to be that quick though? 18 months?
18 months.
Does it go on the ballot next year?
It goes on this year. Yeah. Wow. So in November, and they're trying to get it. So the representatives have two bills. One says letting people out of jail that have a non-violent offense that has weed charges. The other one says we're not going to do that, but if they do get out, they can have dibs on some licenses and shit like that. But then it's like, well, who has the money for that? Like, you gotta have a 1.5 just to even put a ticket in to get into the lottery. So it's one of those things where you do if you don't. But this has 6 plants, and then this one has 12 plants. So that's what makes this one with the you can get some licenses and you get 12 plants, so you can grow your own.
What is it, medicinal in Ohio?
Yeah,
isn't it medicinal and decriminalized?
Decriminalized in Cleveland, I think. I don't know if everywhere else decriminalized.
These little small cities.
I think it's like less than like a traffic ticket though.
Yeah.
Minor misdemeanor.
Even still, with that being said, like a lot of my like growing up fearful, because if I got caught with weed, I'll lose like all my financial aid. Yeah. So like that was more of a fright than like getting a ticket or like getting a weed charge. It was like, damn, y'all gonna fuck me up for like life. Like y'all gonna say I can't get any financial aid. So that I say 18 months because they are trying to push it because on the ballot it'll be 12 plants.
Yeah.
And they don't want the people to vote for 12 plants. So
why? Because that's like a decent amount.
Well, you wouldn't need to go to the dispensary for real.
Let's say how much could 12 pints yield you?
A few pounds.
Really?
A few pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
And here's the thing though, like Ohio has so much farmland.
Yeah.
So like your uncle has a farm,
Mm-hmm.
your cousin has a farm.
Yeah.
Right.
You get the whole neighborhood together. Everybody has 12 plants. So you make a
There's some
co-op.
cartels out here.
Now you got a co-op because now you're just like, I'm growing all their weed for them because they don't want to do it. That I'm servicing. I'm doing this service. So now.
Yeah.
Uncle Jim Bug, he got a whole crop.
Yeah.
And he got machine guns around it.
Right.
But that's free commerce. Like,
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
the land. It's
That's
your
the
land.
whole idea.
Yeah,
It's just so
the
crazy
whole
that it's still
idea.
Schedule 1. I just don't understand that.
That's
Like, it's the same thing
That's
with like heroin and shit. It doesn't make any
It's just
sense.
because it's just an old fashioned belief they always just held on to.
Because I guarantee
Strange.
if you poll most people now, like 18 and up, I would say it's probably got at
80,
least 60, 70% favorability.
Yeah, and they do, and they say it, and that's why it may go through earlier because they want what they want, so that they want to pick exactly the bill and not have the people pick.
Yeah.
In the last 15 years of like us growing up, like how far it's came, you know, just from like 08 to
from the point I
like,
started
it's pretty
smoking
nuts.
to now.
I remember it used to be like very like taboo. Like if you did it, like you're like
the
outcast.
smell of it, like walking into a room and like
I didn't like the smell of it at first. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
The smell was kind of off.
It was wild. It was a wild. It's a wild smell to have on you for real.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah, no, it just always smelled like really bad to me. I was like,
okay, so check this out. So I get to see in my job like patients, like come up and the demographic from pre-COVID, which was like what I started January 2020. So pre-COVID, then of seeing people to like maybe November 2021. The age group changed. Right? It was all older people with just like health issues and all that.
Right.
And COVID hit, boom. People were like, I can get my card, and it changed from that to the youth.
Yeah.
The 20s, the 21-year-olds that are like, oh, I can get my card because I have anxiety for my whole life, or it's basically I've had a sports injury. If you play any sports in high school, you can get your card. But the demographic of older folks, they only view it as what's the highest THC percentage.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It's just not how you get high for it. Because you can get a super terpy low percentage, but those terps in it are so high and that entourage effect affects it so much that you're blasted and you're like, what the fuck did I just hit?
Right.
And they don't get that, and that's the demographic challenge of trying to get the voters to be like, are we smoking our dime bag weed, or are we getting like high terpenes, rosin gummies, fucking extracts that can from a little dab can blow your mind off, or if you just want all tinctures, you can just put it under your tongue. And
I've had those. Those are good.
The tinctures are what I say are like real medicine. Because I've seen people come in and be like,
it seems like real medicine.
I put 2 drops under my tongue and I can wake up and not cry from pain. And I'm like,
damn.
Yeah.
Like, what?
That stuff's strong.
See, that's like the type of stories you're just like, why wouldn't we allow people to do this? Like,
I see it.
It's disgusting.
Like, you're an adult, like, do what you want.
A weekly basis, a little old lady will come in and be like, I love your gummies. And I'm like, I appreciate that. I couldn't swallow the other ones because my mouth, but these break up perfectly in my. And she's just telling me her whole story, and I'm like, oh shit, this is more than a person like sitting in their room hitting a bong. Like, this is a really a lady who's been on hundreds of pills, and she can take 3 gummies, a vape hit, and like live a life that is not in pain anymore.
Yeah.
But then we gotta like put it in our trunk when we ride around town because we're scared we're gonna get caught with it and they take it away from us.
Yeah.
And we have to get, okay, so in Ohio, you can't combust at all. So you can't put flame to flower. And then it's people will be like, so what do you do? It's like, you gotta vape it. So you gotta have like a vaping device and all that. So if you have your weed in your trunk, but your vaping device is in a bag in the car with you, and you have your CCWs, Now you're going to jail for having a paraphernalia charge
So
and
With
a gun charge. And you're like, well, I'm legal in both of these situations.
Yeah,
but they're not legal together.
They're not legal together. And a lot of people are like, I'm not going to get weed and I'm going to stay on these high dose pills because I can have the pills on me, pop one, and have the gun in the other hand and be totally legal right now. And that's the fucking trick bag of Big Pharma, the regulators in the hands of the politicians, and they make it hand over, because there's no reason why a lady can walk into me and say, I got off 4 different pills because I take one hit of a vape.
Right.
Natural.
A natural too.
Yeah, it's so sad, man.
I wanted to say this too before we get going, like any further, like, you know, if you could introduce yourself and, you know, what your name is and your social media.
I am Juice Shrug of Color Radio. Color Radio is a podcast, interview-based podcast where we interview creators around the city, musicians, graphic designers, OnlyFans girls, fucking skaters. The musicians is our core base, but we just like people. We like talking to people and shit. And I appreciate y'all for having me on. A lot of people don't reach out to other podcasters in the city, so keep doing this, because the podcast game is tough, and having friends in it and sharing dialogue and tricks of the trade is key, and building that infrastructure in this city is going to be very, very key as well. So
we appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, I think networking is a big thing. You got to branch out.
You got to branch out. You got to test the waters in places you didn't know you don't even want to go. Right. Like, I had a lawyer on where I met her at Forward, and it was one of those random, like, you see those girls just dancing alone, just dancing alone in the middle of a sea of people. She's just in her own world, and like, I'm sitting at like a little sidebar stool thing, and she's just dancing. I see her just float over, and she just sits there, and she's like, oh, something's in my shoe. And I was like, oh, how you doing? My name's Bo. And we got in talking like that, and I'm like, hey, I have a podcast. You want to come on? And from that conversation, she got me my first live show area. So she got us like she took us to the it's an Irish pub like in the Flats, and she was like, you can do a live show here. I was like, okay. Okay. And I didn't even know what to do with it. We just set our regular stuff up on stage and didn't tell anybody what we were doing. Wow. We didn't play it through the speakers or nothing like that. They were just drinking beers. Like, these guys. You're just there. Wow. These guys are on. But that being said, it's just the connection that I have a podcast. Here's something I can give to you. Come tell your story, because everybody wants to talk about themselves. Yeah. So, yeah. This is how it goes.
Now, how many episodes have you guys done?
247.
Wow.
So we're coming up on our 8th year.
Wow.
Doing it. For the first 3 years, we didn't miss a week. And we potted through the championship and Trump's first presidency. So we had nothing but content. Nothing but content for those. Every show easy, absolutely
easy right now.
Oh man, it's even easier now because there's so many outlets you can go to find podcast content. But even then, people didn't know what a podcast was. Like that's back when like it was just Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan was like big in his community. Like we knew he was big, but nobody else was like, no, he has millions of people that are. He just did a.
It's crazy how much of a big deal he became over them years.
No, he's a top dog.
He's top dog. He's top dog, and he set the tone because he kind of told us, like, don't sell your IP for anything. Like, always keep control of your IP because the fan base you build in this are people that like you.
Right.
And you don't need to change that for anybody, because the people that like you will pay for it. And it's showing now with Patreon and Twitch, and like they will give you money to be you.
Yeah.
And that wasn't like that in fucking 2015 at all.
It's good that he's the top person in that field, because it's like, you know, he has integrity. He's always been honest. He's always had, like good gas. Like, it's always been like good conversations,
They keep trying to take him out.
Yep.
Yeah.
They keep trying to take him out, and
he's unbreakable.
And they keep trying to call him a racist and shit, but like he got like his stepdaughter is a person of color, and
oh really?
Yeah, his he I think like one of his he had two. Okay, so his current wife or ex-wife married or had a kid with a baseball player, and that baseball player was like Dominican or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, okay.
So they had a daughter. Then they got together and they had a kid together. So that like his half daughter or whatever. But like he's had so many people on that just provoke the status quo is the problem. You can't keep provoking the status quo that much, and they're gonna put anything they can on you.
He's having everyone come on that's telling the truth.
You can't do
They're
that.
like, nope.
You can't do that.
His Spotify deal though was crazy. I mean, that's what really cemented him. And then they tried to take him out even on that, and then it was like,
I think it's only a 3-year deal too. I think it might be up soon.
He'll be independent.
Yeah, like it might be up next year, and like
$200 million, I think.
Something easy, and he kept his IP.
Yeah.
He kept his IP. Yeah. He gave him video.
They're like the only ones that have a video, I think.
Yep. They gave him video.
It's like him and Lex Friedman are like the only ones on Spotify.
Oh, does Lex have video on Spotify?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. I don't watch him on there.
But that's the same status as a Joe Rogan. It's just Lex is a little more deadpan with it. And
I like his. I've been watching his.
Yeah, his is more of like a cool TED talk. It's
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's exactly like a TED talk.
Yeah, but even that, you kind of see it where it's like, does he need to have a big machine behind him? It's just him, a mic, a backdrop,
and that's it.
And you go, and you just, and it's no music. It's just you talk, and those types of shows are so like long form content. As much as we talk about short form on like social media and all that, long term form content is key. Like I will watch.
That's my favorite.
What is it? Like a Trap Lore or Trap Lore Ross, where he's doing 2.5 hour documentaries on hip hop, and I'm like, yo, bro, how are you learning this? These are independent people from Britain. He's over in Britain, and he's just on Reddit, and he's looking at these Reddit pages, and he's dissecting news clips, and he's putting it all together. I'm like, I would never do this, but you can't put this in a 30-second clip either.
Yeah, no.
That's their love for it.
Exactly,
like, it's crazy. Like they're like their own, like historian, like for like some weird like niche. Like it was probably like Atlanta hip hop or something like that.
And it's
like what?
It's kind of confusing to see how TikTok is taking off, and the like the total opposite of like long form content is taking off as well. Like Twitch, like there's a Twitcher named Kai right now. He's doing 30 days straight on Twitch non-stop. He set up cameras all through the house. He has a production team behind him, following him in every room, and he's twitching non-stop. And I'm thinking like, because he was already the top person on there.
It's that crazy one, right? Like he's always
Kai Cenat, right?
Yeah. And now he's renting out a LA mansion. Cameras everywhere. I'm like, okay, so at the LA mansion probably like for a month.
Probably 10K, right?
50,000 or something like that.
A month?
Something like because it's 30 days. The view's beautiful. It's looking over. Yeah, 10 will be a lick. 10 will be a. We can go. We can get that together and go live in LA for a month then. But I'm like, all right, so let's say 50 to 75, right? Yeah. So you write that off in your like as an expense and work. Boom. And then I'm like, all right, so bet 50 to 75. He getting like donations non-stop because that's how you talk to him.
Yeah.
So you got to send a donation to say anything to him. So like all right, so here's 50 dono 25, but you do that for 24 hours a day. So think about that. Just you're making
international too.
International as well. So you're making more than maybe $200 an hour, $300 an hour for 30 days straight.
Right.
On average.
You're literally printing money.
You're printing money, and he's having people come and do like promos during it. So he's learning karate. He's doing goat yoga. He's having
That's
like rappers coming over, like those. I'm like, man, and he just turned 21.
Yeah.
He just turned 21.
Some of these kids are just geniuses. Man.
Big bust down on, big chain on, and I'm like, okay, here's an example of if I was a kid right now, fuck being a basketball star, fuck being a rapper. Mom, give me a PC, please.
Yeah.
And fiber optic internet.
Yeah.
I'm locked in my room for about 30 hours a day. Let's do this.
If we could audio back in time, my god.
Come on.
I know, we know it. Like we were talking about this a few weeks ago. Like definitely, if we were of this generation, like the young, we would be that.
But like, what would be, you couldn't. If I had any type of personality as a kid, you couldn't tell me to go to school right now.
Yeah.
I'm going on my computer and I'm filming myself nonstop, man. Yeah. You can't tell me I'm not.
The internet's so crazy nowadays. Like I'm sorry, I think some kids really don't need like a school, normal school. Like it ain't.
Well, there's an 8-year-old who does unboxings. That's it, and he's making $10 million a year because he's doing unboxings. Like, how can I tell this kid to go to school when if he goes, the kids are just going to talk about the toys he's just unboxed. Like, he can't even go to regular school anymore. So that alone, I'm like, if you have
normalcy's over.
No, it's. I say this a lot now. Like, we are in a simulation, and you can either fight it or you can understand that it's a simulation and see what happens if you try some shit you shouldn't be trying. Yeah. Like break the status quo of some shit, and you'll see the Matrix go, what the fuck? What was that? Because there should be no reason why like a person should go viral that is saying one line like period ooh period I or something like that. Like that shouldn't be an exciting thing or like Krishan Rock and Blueface. Like they shouldn't. No, in no other
against my will.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even try to watch that stuff, but I just see it everywhere. It's like I cannot escape.
Why is it like you can't show me the domestic abuse that much and nobody go to jail?
It's so
like that doesn't make sense. That's
they
weird.
Want us to see that shit. Like it's so weird. The whole relationship thing and that is strange on social media.
It's or like a Lori Harvey, who's a beautiful girl,
right? And
she's dating every famous actor, rapper possible, which is okay.
She's dating around.
Open, she's a young woman. She can do it, but it's the visual of it. You don't have to put it on social media. You can date these men. Absolutely not. But she's doing photo shoots with each of them. You can put the photo shoots up next to each other and be like, all right, here's the black and white suit jacket. Oh, y'all did the red suit jacket in this one? Oh, here's the blue one? Okay. Great stylist. But you don't have to tell us now. We have to judge it. Now, me as a podcaster, you're a story in the news now. And I have to debate your pussy. I don't have to debate your pussy. That's yours. Do what you want with it. But don't show it to the public. So now it's a topic in the stream of Kanye, sports, president, new cartoons that they're trying to make bad. Like, that is all of there's a flow of content. Just how like they say fashion comes back in style and all that. Yeah. There's a flow of content that comes back in style.
It's like a weird
every year. It's because Sweeps was coming.
People like that. Like,
exactly.
They always have their season.
It was Trump season. Now we got Andrew Tate season.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have the elections are coming back up. So now we're gonna have some great person that's gonna be like, oh, you're saying all the right things again. I'm like, bro, you've done this to me 10 times. I don't care what you're talking about. You work here right now. There's nobody's popping up right now that's saying, I'm gonna save the world. But they're gonna give us somebody about mid-June and like, hey, here's your savior. He's a cool guy. He's been in Wyoming the whole time being a great mayor. You haven't seen this guy?
It's true, dude.
And then we get into that whole again. Stream Sweeps Week. Sweeps Week is in September, and I learned that from like just like TV shows and like those.
What is that?
Sweeps Week is when
Sweeps Week.
Yeah, when there's most of the season the shows go on their like winter break type thing, so they'll do a build up to like maybe October-ish, go on a winter break, come back around January. December, but news stations do it too. So that's when you get all the blood and gore early on in the day because they want the biggest story to hit because that's when everybody's eyes on it. It's a lot more people home for the holidays and all that shit, so they can get more eyes. But in this day and age, with the social media side of it, they create it with controversy. So that's when most of what was it? The iCloud leaks.
Yeah.
Y'all remember the iCloud leaks?
Like the celebrity
news? Yeah, the celebrity news. And you gotta think about this.
Hella celebrities, man.
This is Hollywood. They control all media. You can make one call and that shit would not be anywhere.
Yeah.
But that was one of those things where it was it was kind of like a slap on the hand to the people that theirs got out because you gotta think everybody had their shit on iCloud. Everybody did. So it's just these certain people that got their shit out.
That's so crazy.
And that's one of those things where I spotted it and I was like, damn, who pissed off some people right there? They just had to flex their power real quick. And the peoples that stayed out there now, like all those people kind of like had a resurgence in their career. So like
yeah, who's the bigger one? That's what I was trying to think of.
Who?
The biggest one. Was that lady?
Jennifer
Lawrence. It was Jennifer Lawrence. It was Jennifer
Vanessa
Lawrence.
Hudgens.
Vanessa Hudgens. And think about like those people kind of had like they had their stardom come back in like a way of like them being. I remember it being Hope Solo.
Yeah.
Hope Solo shit popped up, and
was she like Olympian or something?
Olympian. They tried to make her the face, and she beat her girlfriend.
Jeez.
She beat her girlfriend and lost all that shit. So
one.
she was the face of women's soccer and all that and blah, blah, blah. Oh, she's beautiful, the eyes, all
then
blah,
beat
blah.
her girlfriend. That's it.
She beat her girlfriend.
And that's
it. And so those types of swinging flows of media, I peep and I'm like, oh, so this shit is all on a cycle. And
this season now.
Yeah, it's the first of the year. You usually get some big shit. So they released Brittany Griner.
Yeah.
They waited. They waited. They was like, no, let's get some big shit going.
Didn't she beat her girlfriend too?
Yeah.
Her wife or something?
Yeah, she did. She did it. And they let
she
that
got
slide.
a redemption arc.
Yep.
I mean, he gives a fuck.
That was crazy. I honestly didn't think they were going to get her out.
That was a nuts set.
Like, you can't write a better story than us trading the Merchant of Death for Brittany Griner, a WNBA player.
Yeah.
That doesn't even have any rings.
Oh
she doesn't have any.
Doesn't even have any rings.
She doesn't have any rings.
You know what I always thought about? What if it was like a great NBA player, like Kevin Durant, got taken hostage in Russia, bro? We would have moved heaven and earth to
got
him.
They
would have invaded.
Some black forces, Asians. They just like
they would have raided the prison.
Yeah, they would have got him. They was like, no, we did a secret mission. Some off
We're coming for
people.
KD at all costs.
At all costs, but they had her over there, and I think they just needed to save some face, and the tension was getting too high with Biden.
Oh yeah, they needed something.
And they was like, we just gotta make this trade, but nobody's gonna forget the Merchant of Death is out back in these streets, and Merchant of the Definite up.
I wonder what he's doing right now.
I wonder,
it, man. He did them 20 years on his head.
I wonder what that call was like to Biden. It's like, hey, Joe. It's time to get Brittany out, bud. Your fucking approval ratings in the toilet, like all this shit's going on.
Yeah. And look how they freaking like did it too. They shouldn't even show the video. It was like some movie shit.
That was weird.
Yeah, they passed each other.
Yeah, they passed each other, but they clipped it though.
Yeah.
So I think he shook her hand.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like, why wouldn't they shake hands?
Why wouldn't you?
They looked like they had just like talked to each other when they kept the video back.
Like, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
We out of here.
Yeah, thanks for playing basketball.
I'm not mad at him. If I'm getting out of jail, I'm not mad at you, bro. Like, I don't care, Merchant.
We're in this together.
Yeah, we're in this together.
Remember who I am.
Fuck this government shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a crazy fucking time.
They just let go another one, I think.
Should they?
Yeah, not that guy that they were gonna.
That was supposed to. The war here. Well, I don't say
there was another one,
but
a
military person.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple vets left up there. I mean, I think it's just one of those countries like you go to, you can't fuck around when you're overseas.
Speaking of,
can't be stupid.
The Full Sin Boys went there.
Yeah,
the Full Sin Boys went over there to Russia to fuck with
Hezbollah. Yeah, I didn't see it, but I seen like.
I watched her like the internal one that they dropped. They were with Islam Makhachev, the UFC fighter.
Yep.
They trained with him and shit, and then obviously kicked it with Hezbollah, but. I'm not going to Russia. There's nothing there for me.
There's no reason to go to Russia. There's no reason to go to. Dubai may come along.
Mm-hmm.
Dubai likes money. And I think if they get, because I'm not going if they don't legalize weed. I don't, because I just feel like I ooze weed at this point. So they're not even.
They smell it at the airport. They'll
they'll smell
life
my
in prison.
Like, yeah, for
and
real.
You're getting beheaded when you're 80.
I don't want to. It's again no point to go over there. It's no point to go over there. It's no point to go to China.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
There's no point to go to China.
Used to be, but
it used to be. Unless I'm on some business shit, like, and I'm protected with like some higher ups where they know, like, I'm getting on the plane and off the plane with you only. I'm not going. Japan's a hard no too.
Yeah, I've said that too.
Yeah,
I've said that.
It's a lot of places where they have made it clear that they do not want
they don't like
high
ass
over. They want to keep their place.
Absolutely.
Listen. I got 50 states over here. I'm all right.
Actually, now Spain just went legal. Barcelona and all of them over there.
Really?
Yeah, for weed, and they had their high times over there.
I know Portugal is always pretty liberal that way.
Yep. So like, I'll go to one of the Spanish speaking joints, but I'm not going over there.
Nope.
Nah, I'm cool.
I'm not crossing that European wall.
Nah, it's nothing over there for me. And I heard the food's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Amsterdam isn't like the Mecca it
it's
once
terrible
was.
Weed. They say it's terrible weed and Cali has better weed. So here's how I do it. It's when I rate weed, it's by the hit. So Cali is 1 hit. Vegas 3 hits. I've had some Florida bunk that was probably like 2-hitter and a half, and then like Ohio's weed, you can get a 2-hitter, but it's mostly like a 3 to 4 hitter, like, and you feel it instantly. Mm-hmm. So Cali being a 1-hitter, you're there. You feel it. You feel the tingles. You're all there. Amsterdam is more like a 2 to 3 hitter, and I'm like, all right, so it's not bad weed. But they more so do spliffs. Spliffs to hash. So hash and then...
So what, they'll have tobacco with the weed?
Yeah.
Why is it?
I think that's just like a European thing.
Yeah, it's a European.
Really?
That they don't they think it's too much. It's like a American thing.
We always do everything to the max.
Yes.
We do everything to the max.
Are you smoking like a eighth to the face?
Yeah, no, I mean, well, like, so think about us, like, it's like saying we're eating a packet of sugar instead of just pouring it into a drink or something like that. We're just eating it straight. We're smoking a weed around, like a full weed Canagar, and they're like, no, just put some tobacco in and you get a little head high and a little long-term high. You're fine. I like a spliff, a little spliff.
I used to do it when I was younger.
It was nice. It's a nice habit, but I don't need the tobacco.
Yeah.
And I don't even roll like the rapper weed. Like, I don't need to roll a fucking eighth in a backwood.
What do you feel about them frontos and all that? I just think that shit's so crazy. They're so bad for you.
Yeah, I stopped smoking tobacco probably around this time last year.
It's been a minute for me now.
75 hard, which is like a workout challenge, and it was like no alcohol, no tobacco, 2 workouts a day, read 10 pages, and one of those workouts has to be outside. So I did that for the first time last year, and I stopped smoking blunts completely because I was fucking waking up coughing dark shit. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, what am I doing? Like, I know, I'm looking at the packet. It says, I'm purposely avoiding it saying this causes cancer. Like, what am I doing with my life? Right. This is programming, and I'm like, I'm addicted to nicotine. Like, I'm addicted to the tobacco. And it took me to put spliffs in it to wean myself off. And
that's interesting.
Yeah, and I just started rolling fat joints, put a little spliff in it, a little tobacco from it, and then all of a sudden I was like, man, I don't even need that in it anymore. And I get good weed. I've always got good weed, so it's when people get bad weed. To get that shit that don't taste good, like, I'm gonna get a fucking blunt that tastes like blueberries because this weed tastes bad. Like, that's what
them flavored shells. Yeah, y'all remember all the old, like the White Owls and
did they ban those?
Somewhat. It's harder to find like all the crazy flavors. They'll do like a golden fusion, but it's really a pineapple. But they can't say
that shit always just seems so sick to me.
There's ways to kind of skirt around the regulations. It seems that way. I think they're done with menthols. No. Cigarettes?
Menthols are done?
That's really true?
Yep.
That's probably for the best, though.
Those are disgusting.
Those are probably for the best. I think everyone's getting...
Cigarettes should be banned if it's
I seen that in Australia, that pack of cigarettes is like $55.
Good.
So it's like, if you're buying those over there, like, I mean, you're determined. And that's fine with me.
Native Americans up in Alaska, and they're not allowed to have like alcohol, and like bottles be going for $400 or $500, just like a bottle. That's
people
like
need their
50,
advice. Like people want their advice.
Everyone has an outlet of some sort.
Yeah, 100%.
Like $55? I wouldn't do it, even if I was 2 packs a day kind of guy.
No,
I'd find a way to.
Addiction is big for people in those like rural areas of like Alaska and like where they just
what else is out there?
Exactly.
What else? You can only look at the fucking mountains for so long.
Yeah.
And it's like, shit, dude. You're gonna need something. You're gonna need a drink. You're gonna need to puff something. You got to do something.
How do y'all feel about total legalization of like drugs?
I think everything should be legal except for the ones that make you violent. PCP, no way. Heroin, maybe. But PCP, no chance.
What's the point at this point? People are going to do heroin no matter what. That's why my argument for legalizing it is...
I mean, I think all drugs should be legal, yeah. But PCP, like, inherently makes you violent.
I agree.
Like, so, like, I don't want that. But, like, if you're at your own house, the problem is when you're out in public and then you do something. Like, if you drink all the time at your house, I have no problem with that. But when you drink and drive, put me at risk, and then I have a problem.
Drinking is one of the most dangerous drugs to me. Yeah. Like, people don't remember what they're doing drinking. They like, you make terrible decisions when you're
violent.
Yeah, you get violent.
Yeah.
You fucking fall asleep paces. You fall asleep. You get sad. You have mood swings.
It changes people.
Yeah,
you see it with certain people's personalities, like how bad it plays. That's the
most legal thing. Ever. Like
most accessible.
And easiest to sneak into shit. Like, you can pour anything into a drink and be like, I'm just at work.
There's no residue in there. No. Yeah.
So
and I think, didn't Portland just legal? Or not Portland, there was another. Or I think Canada just legalized, like, in one of their provinces. It's like, you can have up to heroin.
I think it was Oregon that has a...
Oh, yeah, they have it too.
Yeah, where you can just... Everything's legal over there. You can
I think it should be that way, though. I think it should.
Yes. Yes and no. You should be able to do what you want with your body, but it should be monitored.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're trying to kill yourself, kill yourself.
Yeah.
But if you're not trying to kill yourself, have somebody monitor this. I know it sounds something, but have somebody be like in your presence when you're doing these drugs then, or go to a place to do these drugs.
Yeah, like I know they got a lot of shit, but I think it was like Oregon. They had like the safe injection sites. Yeah. I think California too,
like
or New York.
Safe and shit. Like get the sterilized needles and have a place where there's a
nurse. Rather have like them on the streets. The needles are everywhere. They're passing along HIV and all these other crazy diseases, or you put them all in one place. It's monitored. People are getting paid to do that.
And negative parties. Shit, have a little club downstairs and shit like that. Like, hey, get a little shot. We got some food.
Yeah.
Go kick it. Zone out down in the basement or upstairs.
I mean, we have no problem taxing, like, obviously tobacco is taxed, alcohol is taxed. Gambling just got legalized here. It's going to be taxed. Like,
remember Biden said on your taxes claim anything illegal you have? Remember he put that out? That was hilarious. He's like, if you're selling drugs, like, put it on your tax return.
Right.
That was funny.
Now, like I said, you have a sin, I think you should just get taxed. Why not?
Yeah.
How y'all feel about the gambling thing? And like,
I think it's gonna be bad.
It's bad now. It's bad now. The
there's people.
But I think it will die down. Everyone gets hyped for a little bit. It gets legalized.
How much they gotta lose for it to die down? That's the question.
There's people with problems for sure.
Man, the way people talk about, like, it went from like, oh, did you see Kyrie last night? To I almost had to parlay. Fucking, if Kyrie would have did this, he would have had this. And I would have went. I'm like, well.
All right. Well, do you like watching sports?
Yeah.
Are you a big sports guy?
Yeah.
I think it just makes the game more enjoyable to watch.
That's what
it's less enjoyable for me.
Because I don't want to have to watch the Trailblazers. And watch Montrezl Harrell get 12. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to have to be invested in Montrezl Harrell. Like that's the downside of it. But when I see somebody spend $20 and they hit a parlay for 10 times and it's $1,400, I'm like, damn, you just
that's
cool
$1,400. Once you hit a big one, you're like, it's like a drug, and you're like, fuck, I need another one. I don't care what it takes. I'm getting another one. Well, you just can't go deep in debt with it. You just can't.
That's what I'm saying. I already got my vices. Like, I spend enough on weed.
That one's just a bad one.
I like electronics and shit. I don't need to like find it out.
I think if you're a big sports guy and you've always been like, because I've always loved sports and all that kind of stuff, it just makes the game more enjoyable for me.
Now for the Super Bowl, I'm definitely betting on the coin flip.
Yeah, 100%.
That's an
Tails.
easy whatever flip right that is.
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Bomani Jones, his Foxworth Fridays, and he told a story about Randy Moss. And Randy Moss was in some playoff game. He was like, "Hey, pick Tails, boy. Go ahead, pick Tails. Tails never fails." And he was like, "It's just like Sony PlayStation. I always pick Tails. I always win." And the dude went out there. I think it was like Jockey Culpepper was the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And
he was sweet.
Fucking pick Tails. Like, I told you to pick Tails, man.
Yep.
So Tails never fails. I'm definitely
I'm gonna have to. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm putting some money on the coin.
Oh yeah.
Alone.
And who do you have? The Eagles or the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
See, I got the Eagles.
I can't bet bet against Pat Mahomes right now.
Yeah,
no, that's
he's different. He's different, but the Eagles may have a better team.
Eagles. Yeah.
But that
experience.
Are we talking about Jordan, or are we talking about perfect Spurs level, like teamwork and everybody's fitting on the same? Because like I believe in a superstar, and there's not a lot of many superstars in football, but just so happens the one is in a Super Bowl and he's on the other side of the Eagles. Yeah.
And the Eagles haven't played any like top tier quarterback. I think the best one they face is Dak Prescott, which is like
exactly. So
and I think Mahomes is going to tear him up.
Now,
but I do still like the Eagles.
Has an ankle thing.
That's what makes me weary.
One of the linemen for the Eagles, this guy charged with rape.
Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, that was nuts. That was nuts.
So
there's some drama.
Yeah, there's a lot going on leading up to it, but I gotta go Chiefs. I would love to see the Eagles. No, I don't. I wouldn't love to see the Eagles. Actually, no.
Yeah.
Chiefs. Pat Mahomes. I like the legacy. What, 5
Tails,
years
Cleveland
in?
boy.
3 Super Bowls. 2 if he wins. That's fire.
He's definitely something.
He'll be a Hall of Famer in no time.
Easy. He can retire right now.
Yeah.
Why play anymore? He has $500 million on him. Play that contract.
That's so true, though.
Go home.
I agree.
And
people don't do that though.
Equity in the Chiefs.
They
give him equity in the Chiefs.
Yeah,
that's
they
really
they put all their chips on him.
No, this is it. Right. We see you, bro.
I mean,
this is it.
Yeah, he's the best. He's one of the
he
best
said
he could have been.
He said 1 year and at practice, it was like we should probably put him on the field now.
Yeah,
we should probably put that's his rookie year. That was like no, he's the
special.
One. He's the one. So
he was there before Alex Smith.
Yeah,
Alex Smith like snapped his leg in half though.
So
it's kind of like
the Alex Smith. He had a hard road.
Yeah,
he had to get Kaepernick took his job. Kaepernick left. Alex Smith broke his leg, came back.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Chiefs. He thought he was like, okay, I can make my comeback at the Chiefs. Yeah. And then they just drafted this little Pat Mahomes guy who
I always liked him too, even at Texas Tech. I thought he was a dog.
Yeah.
I like Josh Allen.
They breed good quarterbacks.
I like Joe Burrow. I like a lot of the quarterbacks these days. These are
there's been some weak draft classes the last few years.
They got to pay Lamar. They have to pay Lamar.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he is.
He's on the Dolphins, you think?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he's going to go to the Dolphins. He's
I
not going to stay in Baltimore, though.
I think it's like a double thing. Like, yeah, he wants to leave the team, but he also wants to go somewhere, maybe some nice weather, kind of have some fun.
And you got to go
suffer up north.
Listen, they're businessmen, too. I think even when Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins, he said he was really close to signing with the New York Jets until he saw how many taxes were getting taken out. He said, fuck them, I'm going to Florida.
Yeah. I'm going to Florida, Texas, or Puerto Rico.
Nicer weather, less taxes,
man, y'all not taking
overall better team.
Maybe.
Y'all ain't taking this money from me, man.
No, I worked hard for it.
I wanted to ask you a quick pod question, too. Like, who do you enjoy talking to the most out of, like, the guests you have on? Like, is it, like, artists or...
Artists are kind of weird these days. They're kind of because it's so much image shit.
Yeah.
So it's like they kind of come in.
Shit.
Yeah. They gotta be cool. They gotta be cooler than it wanna be, and then they can't talk about like current events because they could get signed by this artist or some shit. So they kind of dance around. So they're kind of like my least favorite at this point. But the most fun is like the people that just come on and are just a guest. Like they don't really have much going, so they can just talk. But I like the comedians now. I like a lot of the entrepreneurs that are just in a niche area and they just have a lot of stories.
Like restaurants.
Exactly. We had a girl on who was a dominatrix, and she's the sweetest, smallest little girl, and I don't want to say little girl. That sounds weird. She's a grown woman, but she's like small. She's like 5'2". You wouldn't suspect it. And she was the best, like, she had the best story. She was, like, in a, what you call it? She was Mormon. very strict religious parents up until 18, left the household, became a stripper. The Johns and the Moon was like, hey, I take pictures of feet. Can I take pictures of feet? She was like $500, and that got her into the domination shit. But she said it so cavalier, where I was like, is that cool? It's like, no, it's just life. That's just how it went.
Yeah.
And like,
different life paths.
just different life paths. But then we can have a flip of like a doula on there. She's telling us how like she gave birth to, she helped give birth to 4 lives the last week or something like that. And it's a great way to understand people.
Yeah.
And you understand conversation. You understand that some people just need to have somebody ask the right question, and it'll trigger something, and they'll just start to flow.
Right.
And they'll
get to show their true self, who they really are.
And I took a lot of the early shows, and I used to tell artists a lot, like, hey, take this show as a very clean interview. You can send to people and show that you can do an interview, because a lot of people couldn't do an interview that was like coherent enough. Where it's like, we smoking weed, we got bottles everywhere, we laugh, nobody's asking questions. Like we did that shit, but it was like, this is horrible content.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who's going on, what's we talking about. Everybody's talking over each other. But a structured conversation where you're passing shit and they can see that you're getting faded, but you're still coherent and you're having a good conversation, that means a lot to people. So a lot of that came with trial and error of, okay, maybe not smoke 6 blunts before the show.
Yeah.
let's do one, and then if we feel like it, we can smoke after or during or something.
Focus on the task.
It's focus on the task.
Right.
But yeah, it's potting, man. It's potting. It's understanding that if somebody is listening, always trying to give them the best episode.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Any last questions?
I think you had everything on that. I know you got to get out of here. So
I know. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming
I'm
on.
coming back now. I tell people on my podcast, you came on one time, so now you can come back all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll happily come back.
That's what we want.
It's so much more to talk about and touch on.
Yeah,
so
there really is. We appreciate you coming on, man. Nice meeting you as well.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Appreciate you.
Make sure you visit letsallbank.com.
Yep.
Let's All Lift.
Let's All Game. Don't watch me. It's definitely Merkham. I fucking suck at game. Gonna be watching me getting embarrassed and shit. I can't be doing that.
Modern Warfare 2, he needs to
next time I come back, we're gonna get into this crypto and the NFT downfall and all that.
Yeah.
Get heavy.
Yes, sir. So yeah, appreciate it. Thanks you guys for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.